Hi, it's Bruce again, and welcome to my Colorado Rocky Mountain Labs. And what we're looking at this evening is a Hewlett-Packard 3465A digital multimeter. So let's take a little look at this. It's a 3465A. We measure DC, AC voltage, DC amps, AC amps, and ohms. We can read DC voltage from 20 millivolts full scale to 2000 volts. We do that in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ranges. We can read AC voltage the same, only we go from 200 millivolts on the low end to 2000 volts high end. Amperage, we can read 200 microvolts full scale to 2 amps full scale. We do that in 6 ranges, or 5 ranges, excuse me. You've got AC amperage, same thing, and then ohms from 200 ohms full scale to 20 megohms full scale. So a lot of ranges, a lot of capability here. 4.5 digits, so that means you get 5 digits maximum. And it's in a nice looking condition. No objectionable scratches of any type. And we'll turn it around here. This is serial number 1621A16622. And then stand, wire stand. Got all the feet. Reverse side. So as you can see, quite an attractive unit. And before we get into that, I'm going to give you a look at a little document here. I just, in May, which was a little over a month ago, paid about $185 to have that Hewlett-Packard 34401A calibrated. And this is my certificate of calibration with the date. And now that we've got that calibrated, I've been using it to adjust and check out a lot of my equipment. So I just went through a calibration on this 3465A, and I used my my Hewlett-Packard 34401A as the comparison check for the voltages and so on. And as you'll see here, the results were really quite satisfying. And as you will see, it's done well in terms of operation. We're going to start with ohms because I'm connected up that way right now. Okay, we're on the 100 ohm scale, or 200 ohm scale, excuse me. We have 100 ohms dialed in, and we're reading 100.08. But if we check the lead resistance by shorting out the leads, we get 0.06 ohms there. So we really have 100.02. Okay, with 100.02 as the reading, we're on 100 ohms. We should be reading between 99.96 and 100.04. We're reading 100.02, and just a little to the right of the middle of 100, but we're good. We're within spec. Go to the 2000 ohm range, and we're getting 0.1001. And on this range, we're right at the right end of the spec, but good at 100 ohms. Let's go to 500. 0.5001. And So we are a tenth of an ohm over the middle, and we're a tenth of an ohm under the right hand side. So we're within tolerance, within a tenth of an ohm at 500 ohms. And let's try 1,000 ohms. We got 10001, and that puts us 0.002 under the right hand limit, and we are one reading over the middle, so we're right in the middle anyway. 20,000 ohm scale, and we want to read 1,000 ohms. Got a reading of 1,000 dead on. Not much need to check it, but that would put us right in the middle of the range. Let's go to 5,000. We're getting 5,000. Puts us right in the middle of the range, so it's dead on. 10,000. 10,000. We flashed from 0 to a 1, so somewhere in there. And we are right in the middle again. No problem with that range at all. Let's try 200,000. And we're looking for 10,000 ohms. Here's the reading for 10,000. We are, here we are. We're right in the middle where we're dead on. 50,000 ohms. Getting 50,000, again dead on. 100,000 ohms. We're getting 100,000, and again dead on. Let's go to the million ohms. 100,000 dead on, the million ohm, 2 million ohm scale actually. Go to 500,000 dead on. We go to a million. 999,000.9, and that would put us just 0.1 under the middle of the scale. It's right in the middle of tolerance, so we're good. Let's go to the 20 megohm scale, and we go 1 million. 1 million, right on. 5 million. 5.001 puts us right in the middle of the range. And finally 10 million. And we got 10.001. And that puts us right in the middle, because 10.011 would be the right hand. So we're good. All right, we passed all of the ohms. Let's take a look at DC voltage. Okay, we're on DC volts. We're on the 20 millivolt scale, and we've got 10 millivolts put in. We're getting a reading of 10.000 on the Hewlett-Packard 3465, and on the 34401 we're getting all nines, 9.999. In fact, it just flashed 10 up there, so, and we're flashing between all 9s and 10 here, a little more to the 10 side. And we should be seeing something between 9.995 and 10.005. We're like right smack dab in the middle, so we're great at 10 millivolts. We've gone to the 200 millivolt scale. We're getting a reading of 10.00, which is great because that's right in the middle of where it should be. And let's go to 100 millivolts. And okay, we have 100 millivolts on the 34401 and 100 millivolts on the 3465, so that's great. Let's go to the 2 volt scale. 100 millivolts to begin with, right on. And go to 1 volt. And we are getting all 9s. And the 34401 is getting a 1 with all 0s. Let's see, if we are at 1 volt, we are at, with all 9s, we are 0.0001 from being completely in the center, but we are in the center of the limits. Let's go to the 20 volt scale. There's 1 volt. Let's go ahead and kick ourselves up to 10 volts. There's 10 volts on the 34401. 9.999 is our reading for 10 volts. And again, we are right in the center, just barely to the left of center, but right in the center of the scale. 200 volts, there's 10, right on. Let's give ourselves 100 volts. There's 100 volts. And we are reading 99.98 on 100 volts, which puts us it's 2 steps below the middle and 1 step above the left-hand side. We're good. We passed anyway. Okay, let's go to 2000 volt scale. Got 100 volts as a first reading. That's good. We're going to kick ourselves up. Okay, we go 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000 volts. And there's 1000 volts on the Hewlett-Packard 34401. We got 999.9, which puts us right in the middle of the scale, but just 0.1 off. Right in the middle of the acceptability. Let's get this 1000 off of here. That test always scares me. So everything fell within the DC voltmeter accuracy display limits. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the AC volts. Okay, well, we've hooked up the AC from this Fluke 5200A. We're right now feeding in a 10 millivolt 1000 hertz signal, and we're reading 9.98 millivolts. And our comparison Hewlett-Packard is ranging somewhere between 9.999 and 10. So we're off 10 to 20 microvolts between the two. Really quite good. Let's go on up the range. And we're reading 9.8 to 9.9 on the 2-volt range. Let's increase our voltage. All right, here's a 100 millivolts. Let's go back down and take a look at 100. 99.97, and we're getting 99.977778. So there we're in agreement within a digit. Going up to the 2-volt range, we've got 0.0999, and that would be 0.0999, well, 99.9, yeah, be the same. Looks like we've dropped maybe a millivolt here, so we're at 99.8 millivolts, 99.9. Oh, let's kick ourselves up another range. All right, that's a volt. We are reading 0.99978, 0.9997. So within a tenth of a millivolt, we are accurate, and this is AC. Let's go to the 20-volt range. 0.999, 0.999. And we'll go up another 10 volts. Okay. Close enough. 9.999, 8 or 9. And we're getting 10.001. So we're within about a millivolt on 10 volts. Okay, let's go to the 200 volt range. And we've got 9.9899, 9.99, 9.99 would be right. We'll go up another decade. We're going to read 100 volts. Okay, we've got 100.01, 0.01, 0.02. We're reading 99.91. Let's bring that up to 100. There's 100. At 100.1. So we're within a tenth of a volt out of 100. We go to a 2000 volt range. We're reading 100.0, which would be right. And I really can't bring myself up much more than this because I don't have the external fluke amplifier. I can bring myself up 110. Okay. And I'm getting 110 here, and I'm getting 110 there. So there we go. Let's move now to the ohms. This having been successful, we'll be right back. Okay, so we've connected up this current device. Has some power resistors in it. All of them, I think, 1% resistors. And we're feeding from a power supply here. We're running in through the resistor, in through the ammeter, in through another ammeter and then back to the power supply. So I'm going to be comparing my current readings on both my Hewlett-Packard 34401 and this Hewlett-Packard 3465. But right now we're reading 189.2 or 0.3 varies, and that's, we're reading 189 microamps on the 34401. We got 188.8, roughly 188.8 on the 3465A, and if you rounded that up, since it has an extra digit in it compared to my 34401, it'd actually be right on. Let's go ahead to the next range. This is the 2 milliamp range. And right now we are reading 0.3417. So that would be out of 2, 341.5 microamps, and we're reading 341.4. So we're within 0.1 microamp of each other. But let's go ahead and we're going to raise this value since we're on the 2 milliamp range, and get somewhere closer to 2 milliamps. All right, let's take a right about there. We're 1.947 milliamps, 946, and we got 1.946, so we're basically in agreement. All right, we're going to change our resistor, drop our voltage. This is a 100 ohm, 10 watt. Okay, we're reading about 202 milliamps, and we're reading 202.9 milliamps on the 34401. So that's an agreement. Let's take it down just a little bit. We'll go down into the next range. All right. 179.37, 43938, 37, 179.37. 179.32. So we're different by about 0.05 milliamps. Very small amount. So we are reading accurately on the top two ranges without a doubt. I'm going to drop this to where I can get myself into the 20 milliamp range. Okay. About 19.32. Still dropping a little bit. 19.0300, 18.9899, 18.95, 18.92, 9.89, 0.87, 0.85. So we're very close on both. So anyway, I've proven my point. It's reading the milliamps quite accurately as well, matching the Hewlett-Packard. I know many of you out there are Hewlett-Packard fans, so this would be a nice unit to look at, and it'll be at a nice price. So, we're gonna include with this. We'll include with this a set of test leads, and we'll provide the copy of the manual on CD. So you'll have the diagrams, you'll have the calibration, You can calibrate this yourself. I did. You just need to have a good standard. And that's about it. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time, huh?